Did Sam Darnold silence his doubters?
I think without a doubt, no pun intended. He was brilliant in the biggest spot against what I think the general public believes, maybe incorrectly, was the toughest team left in the tournament.
Sure.
You know, as far as, you know, what the public thinks about the Rams.
Outside of the Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah, outside of the team that he's on. I'm saying like that, and there is a little extra. I know everybody says, and they're correct, when Allen and Mahomes play each other, they're not on the field at the same time. Quarterbacks don't play each other. We all know that. But there is a little extra gravitas to having a monster game when you know the guy on the other sideline is going to have a monster game too because he's that guy. And being able to stare down Matt Stafford going throw for throw is, to get to the Super Bowl, pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
The fact that after the Rams didn't get that fourth down, Mike Macdonald, and I know he's Mike Macdonald's defensive coach, but Clint Kubiak, and I'm sure he runs it through the head coach, trusted Darnold on second and third downs instead of just hand the ball off, try to grind clock, maybe we pick it up, if not, we'll punt it away. Like, no, Sam, go pick up first downs. Let's not give the ball back to them is really special. And what I think, Brew, is you can't have this type of game in the NFC Championship game and ever have someone say, I don't think he can do it in big games. Doesn't mean you're going to do it in every big game.
Yep.
But like once you have that level of performance on that stage, it's no longer a fair criticism to be like, I just will never trust him in a big spot. So that to me, the answer is yes, bro.
I am in complete and total disagreement with that perspective, which strikes me as a profound rewriting of history. I consider myself among the most ardent supporters of Sam Darnold. I believed in his potential before he ever took a snap for the Minnesota Vikings. However, one need only examine the case of Jalen Hurts. Hurts was instrumental in a Super Bowl victory in 2022. Yet, commentators persistently claimed Jalen Hurts would be the liability holding back the Philadelphia Eagles on their 2024 Super Bowl pursuit. There was some superficial acknowledgement of his Super Bowl performance, but it was routinely dismissed as a one-off, with no genuine confidence that Hurts could deliver in critical situations. In fact, Colin Cowherd explicitly stated this season, I don't trust Sirianni. I don't trust Jalen Hurts in big moments. This after Hurts had already excelled in 2 Super Bowls. So, no. Once the level of skepticism reaches the heights it did for a player like Sam Darnold, that shadow persists. Even winning a Super Bowl doesn't always erase it, as the Hurts example demonstrates. The doubt, the criticism, legitimately trails you. It may diminish in volume, it may soften slightly, but I am telling you right now, if the Seattle Seahawks do not win, and Sam Darnold merely has a decent, not spectacular game, barring an outright catastrophe, if Seattle loses, and Sam's stat line is something like 225 yards, a missed throw or 2, 1 touchdown, perhaps a fumble or an interception, the narrative will be, see, he can't deliver when it matters. Told you so. I promise you. I guarantee it. Jalen Hurts delivered a phenomenal Super Bowl performance, earning MVP honors, and critics were simply lying in wait for him to falter in the subsequent playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers. I observe this dynamic daily in comment sections. The volume might lower, but the underlying sentiment remains. The notion that he has silenced the doubters is incorrect. We know this. We've witnessed it throughout Sam's career, especially the last 2 years, regardless of his achievements. Consider this. Sam could win this Super Bowl and secure the MVP award. If he doesn't replicate that success later, they'll say, well, even Eli Manning won a Super Bowl. That's their playbook. That's what they invariably do. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. The skeptics are never fully vanquished. And let me be clear, this comes from someone who never doubted Sam. So don't direct frustration at me. I'm merely describing the mechanism. Honestly, we observed this pattern repeatedly. After Sam won the conference championship and advanced to the Super Bowl, I was still reading comments stating, Baker Mayfield is better than Sam Darnold. It's like, absolutely, buddy, sure he is. The skepticism simply never departs. It's a constant companion, perched on your shoulder. Ironically, this can be a positive force. Seriously, it sustains your motivation. It maintains your focus and energy. It instills the mentality that one achievement is insufficient, two are inadequate. It perpetuates hunger. That is a tremendous asset for the Seattle Seahawks and for Sam Darnold personally. But I simply believe that doubt will perpetually linger. Consider that every quarterback, including Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, will have poor performances. If Sam is fortunate to play another 8-10 years, he undoubtedly has at least 10 subpar games remaining in his future. That's simply the nature of the sport. And when those occur, they'll remark, "Ah, the old Sam resurfaced." Or, "Sure, he won the Super Bowl back in 26, but can he truly recapture that magic?" Let's be honest. He transitioned from Kevin O'Connell to Clint Kubiak. Outside those two systems, he hasn't been as effective. Then they'll display a graph illustrating a slight dip in his passer rating, or a less optimal touchdown-to-interception ratio. That is precisely their methodology. We are all familiar with it. Oh, Sam excels when he has Jackson Smith and Jigba and Justin Jefferson. But absent that elite support, what is he truly? We've witnessed this script. Therefore, it's rather naive for a commentator to claim he silenced the doubters. I assure you. Listen, this isn't a viewpoint I relish being correct about, as that would imply justification for doubting Sam. But it is the entrenched reality. It genuinely is. Honestly, Jalen Hurts serves as the quintessential example. The man has excelled in 2 Super Bowls, set records, is a Super Bowl MVP, defeating Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yet, certain voices still discuss him as a quarterback whose role must be limited for team success, echoing much of the rhetoric applied to Sam Darnold. The fact that a prominent analyst expressed surprise that Seattle relied on Sam Darnold to throw in a crucial game situation speaks volumes. They trusted Sam to throw on second down? Yes, because he is a talented quarterback and the leader of the Seattle Seahawks. Newsflash. Quarterbacks other than Patrick Mahomes are capable of making plays. That specific remark reveals the profound depth of the ingrained doubt. Believing it is resolved by a single moment is mistaken. I promise you it is not. This encapsulates the state of sports discourse. Individuals cling to preconceived notions despite contradictory evidence. It's acceptable to maintain an opinion you believe is correct even when faced with counter-evidence, but then you must substantiate why. For instance, I held a specific view on Baker Mayfield early this season. When he started well, people said, "See how amazing he is." I disagreed, not out of blind denial, but I provided rationale, examining the opponents, the game context, risky throws that hadn't been intercepted yet, the exceptional play of a receiver. I presented legitimate logic. It wasn't a reflexive dismissal. However, with a select few players, it's an impervious stance. No. Regardless of what is demonstrated. One factor currently benefiting Sam Darnold is his newfound, somewhat associative linkage with quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in certain narratives. Individuals who are particularly critical of Allen and Jackson, who previously were not Darnold advocates, now use his success to critique those other stars. Consequently, they will rhetorically elevate Darnold. Believe this, I am already observing it. I am already engaging with it in comment sections. And you know what? I don't resent the doubters. Their presence makes proving them wrong more satisfying. It's exhilarating to utilize that energy as fuel. I've been engaged in this for 2 full seasons regarding Sam Darnold. Every week, I felt compelled to create content defending and applauding him. After losses to Detroit and Los Angeles with Minnesota, I defended him repeatedly when public sentiment was ready to mock him. Thus, I speak from the position of someone who has been on the front lines of this debate for 24 months. This isn't a casual observation. As the commentator himself noted, they hadn't focused on Seattle much this year, whereas I was discussing them constantly. I interact with this narrative daily, just as I did with Minnesota Vikings fans last year, arguing they should retain Darnold while they insisted otherwise. I felt they misunderstood team building. So, I've been entrenched in the battle against Sam Darnold's skepticism. Therefore, I simply do not believe he silences doubters. And I'm comfortable with that, because it allows me to continue highlighting their errors. Wake me up when Baker Mayfield reaches a Super Bowl. But those are my reflections. I am incredibly eager to hear yours. What are your thoughts on Sam Darnold? Do you believe he has genuinely quieted his critics? I also find the distinction between media narratives and fan perceptions fascinating. The YouTube comment section offers a potent, real-time cross-section of the conversation. When we discuss doubters or believers, are we referencing fans, media, or a blend? That's the value of reading comments. I encourage you to scan through them occasionally. You obtain a legitimate sample size of the live discourse. From my experience, it's fairly accurate, though somewhat amplified. During live streams, I find people's opinions are often more measured. The comment section cranks the intensity higher. So, real-time reactions might be milder. Those with reservations in comments may simply have questions. Strong supporters are just that, supportive. Nevertheless, I don't see the overarching narrative dissipating anytime soon. I genuinely don't. If Sam Darnold wins this Super Bowl, earns Super Bowl MVP, and perhaps a regular season MVP, it would be challenging for anyone to openly doubt him. Yet, I suspect references to Trent Dilfer, Joe Flacco, and Eli Manning would persist. Even with a Super Bowl victory and MVP, if he subsequently has a rough stretch, a couple of erratic games with turnovers, the narrative will resurface instantly. If Matthew Stafford has a multi-turnover game, it's, what are you going to do? If it's Sam, it becomes, he's crumbling. I firmly believe this. Any future subpar performance, even after an MVP season, would be framed as, Sam has a propensity for X, or he'll give you at least one clunker per season. They employ a framing they rarely use for Patrick Mahomes or a credentialed veteran like Stafford. That stigma endures. You cannot completely override a first impression. I believe we've witnessed this phenomenon too frequently to confidently declare the doubters silenced, but those are simply my perspectives. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think? Has Sam Darnold silenced his doubters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, let's engage in some discussions. Let's have some spirited debates. But ultimately, let's just enjoy the process. And please consider subscribing. We're cultivating a fantastic community here, and would absolutely love to have you as part of it. I aim to build something we all feel a connection to, something we're genuinely excited to participate in. I believe we're making significant progress toward that goal. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.